Capricorn, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We're in Virgo season. The last part of it, I guess I should say, we're coming up on actually our second new moon in Virgo, which is also a solar eclipse. We're going to move into a Libra season right after. Libra season really highlights and focuses on partnerships, relationships, which we have been navigating currently. I mean, I guess we always do on some level. But this value of how those dynamics are impacting our life, whether they're bringing benefit, value, nurture, support, or it's really not serving us and we need to kind of learn some of the harder lessons or karmic lessons of life, right? The 4 outer planets are in retrograde right now, really kind of highlighting some of those values, those deeper lessons, especially places that we need to do some internal reflection, like how am I inviting this into my life, this person, this situation? What am I believing about myself that's making me think like I can't have or, do or be worthy of, fill in the blank, whatever that looks like for you. And it's, it's a lot of hard inquiry. It's not fun. It's not easy. There is this really beautiful aspect right now in the astrology, though, that is catering towards our hope, our optimism. Meaning that, if we put in the hard work now, if we put in the work up front, it's going to result and reward fruits of the labor, right? Like things that are actually really beneficial to us, not only as individuals, but collectively as well. There's a lot of chaos right now. There's a lot of reshuffling, and that's definitely related to Pluto moving into Aquarius. We're changing the old habits, the old paradigms of how things are, and hopefully finding ways to be aligned more authentically with ourselves, our wants, our desires, how we can bring more balance and harmony into situations. A little idealistic, but it would be nice, right? Instead of all the craziness that goes on. But that's also a conversation for a different time. That's also why I like to start off these readings, with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might be feeling blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention as well, Capricorn, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of that realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're aligned in self, when we feel good, solid, grounded in who we are and what we want, that's where we're manifesting our happiness, our abundance, our fulfillment, right? Like we have to know thyself. So I would love to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. All right, Capricorn. I feel like you're assessing options this week. Message of freedom popped up bottom of the deck with reproach. So it looks like you might be trying to free yourself of something. And that's kind of what I was seeing in the initial picking up your energy is there are options in front of you and you know that. I feel like you have to approach a situation tenderly, but this is like you needing answers for you. Something that there hasn't been a lot of clarity around, a lack of communication, a lack of conversation, not pointing the finger necessarily at anyone, but it's just like no one wants to talk. And I feel like you might have thrown something out, you know, a little bit of bait to see what you would get back. And are using that as like your way to kind of determine what your next steps are. I do feel like you want some freedom. Freedom from maybe something that you've been a part of for a long time. Something that you do love. Something that is important to you, but something that doesn't serve or isn't looking the same or isn't moving in the direction that you thought it was. You've had some time to get in touch with yourself. I think you've hit this new point, it looks like, of like really assessing how people, dynamic situations work with you and what you want that to look like in this next chapter of your life. Okay. There is some anger, resentment around what you have or what hasn't given you what you needed. But there's also fear of like walking away from that, what that would look like, starting new life, closing a chapter. Especially because there is love here. But it feels like a love that has changed. It's transformed. It's not what it used to be. And because of what you've traveled through, because of where you're at now, because you've had this opportunity to become a little bit more clear on your wants and needs. And whether it was just like you being picky or whatever, or if it was actually like, no, this is like something my soul needs. It does feel different. We have a lot of 5s on the board. We have like a lot of like waiting to see what the change is going to bring. I think I'm hearing like there hasn't really been a lot of information on that front. And I think that that's kind of where that throwing out the bait is coming into play because you do want clarity. It's interesting. Like you're getting freedom, but it hasn't happened quite yet. I think you've had to travel through in this process a little bit longer. Maybe you've held things close to your chest. You haven't really been ready to completely divulge. It's hard for you, and I think you're also looking to choose your words appropriately. You know that you're on the forefront of this. I'm hearing even like that bait was in a way to kind of sift out how things are going to land if you do this thing, right? Because someone just like is not on board or has not gotten on board or is taking their sweet, sweet time. So what it looks like with this Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, they're not following through on something that needs to be done. All these people. Okay. So we have in the outside energy, we have Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. So you might have a lot of people that are kind of like feeding into like whatever is going on for you. You're in your own happy world though. Like as much as there might be a lot of gossip around you, you're not waiting to hear what it is, right? Like you're not standing around to listen. And I don't even know that you really care, right? Like there's this part of you that like is at peace with what things are. You're doing your own thing. Perhaps this is some type of like collaborative, like people like as a group are going to come talk to you or like, I don't know. Let's look and see what's happening over here. These are people or a dynamic, a group, or like a couple different energies that are feeling like really disappointed about how things have gone. And maybe even seeing some of the error of their ways is what I'm hearing, right? Like whatever you have going on, your energy is light. You feel good. Like, and I think, again, this is because you've had time to get very clear on whatever you needed to for your own self. And you're good as a result of that. It's also showing. It's showing to people around you. They're interested. Maybe you've been picking up on a potential reconnection, interaction with some of these folks. Let's look and see. Okay. Ugh. Lots of fives, lots of fives. 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and 7 of Pentacles. So there is movement forward. I don't know. I think there's a conversation. It looks like there's a conversation that happens that is not exactly like what they're planning or anticipating. I feel like you're actually making a choice that is surprising to some people. You might not have people that agree with it. Like I said, I don't think you really care though. Like, I think you're just kind of in your own zone. And like I said, it looks like a good one. Maybe you still have some attachments to these people, to the situation on some level that you have to attend to. But at the same time, like, you know, the energy is going to change soon. And it looks like whatever this is, like maybe they wanted you to come after them, a little like runner chaser vibe with this 5 of Pentacles. And you haven't really fed into that because of like how it has worked out. Like, you know, it's just when people are feeling rejected or hurt, and so then they cause drama or fights. And I feel like you've moved on from that. Maybe they wanted you to stick around. Maybe they expected you to come back and like beg, or maybe not even beg. Maybe it's not that extreme, but maybe it's like they expected you to come back around, but they weren't really willing to like reach out or whatever. I do think some of this is coming to head though. I feel like a conversation is going to be had. As I'm looking, we have Ace of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, new beginnings in sight. You're moving towards this space of freedom. I feel like it's going to be a hard conversation because it looks like it's stirring up some things for you. That's going to help. Okay. There's a little bit of pushback. There's a little pushback. And you don't know how to feel about that. Like, it looks like, okay, that's the second time King of Cups came up for me. So it looks like the conversation in and of itself is going to challenge you because I think there's multiple different perspectives. And you are not agreeing with what's being said, basically, is how it looks. But this is also your pathway to freedom. In your blocked energy, messages of freedom, 38 breaks down to 11. And that's when 11s are master numbers. They're about our empowerment. They're about our ability to overcome, even if people don't agree with it, right? Like, it looks like there's a common opinion that you don't resonate with, that you don't vibe with. And whatever that opinion is, it's coming out of some kind of bad behavior. Like 5 of Pentacles, like the 5s are not easy cards because they're when change is forced to happen. When like either people aren't paying attention or whatever, and it's like, no, this has to change. This situation has to change. And that's what they're having a hard time with. You're not so much. Maybe they come to stir the pot a little bit. We've been seeing that in the collective. And part of their stirring the pot is to maybe poke the bear, maybe make you emotional, throw a rock in your path, that obstacle for some of you that might not resonate with everybody. But again, it looks like the conversation's coming from that space of like, who's right and who's wrong versus like, how can we have empathy, understand each other, and move forward. Remember, I am doing the work. I know that my future self will thank me for the hard work. And that's why we face these things. Karmic lessons, they pop up. They're not fun. They force us to look at messier parts of ourselves, of our lives. We're in that space right now with all the retrogrades, the eclipse season that's popping up. But the nice thing about this new moon in Virgo that's up on the horizon, it's a solar eclipse, and solar eclipses help with external change, right? When we do the work during the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse allows our circumstances to change. So we're not living in those same patterns if we do the work, right? I am happy right now. I know that I do not need to wait for 5 p.m. on Friday to be happy, right? Finding the joy in the present moment. Easier said than done often, right? But when we give ourselves the opportunity to shift our perspective, it makes us feel that much better. It also really helps when we feel like we're being attacked or someone's accusing us of something that doesn't resonate, right? Like we don't want it to stick onto us. And finding joy in the moment, it really helps kind of re-regulate, especially when people are like doing their own dramatic thing, right? Making it seem worse than maybe what it was. I am going to take risks. I know that my dreams are bigger than my fears. And again, like this has a little bit of fear-mongering energy around it. Someone trying to keep you small, keep you limited, or really spirit challenging you. Are you going to listen to it, right? Are you going to believe what they're saying about you? Maybe there are elements of the truth, but maybe it doesn't mean that it was the whole, or that whatever they chose was the right thing, right? And I feel like a lot of that's being highlighted and challenged, but it's also bringing you freedom, which is silver lining, hopefully, good for you. All right. Sorry, that was like such a bad ending, Capricorn, but I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you.